Alright, excuse the sawing, that's my neighbor who's making a barn. Not too sure why. I'd like to talk about the Billy Mitchell scandal. It looks like it's finally reached its final chapter, and that it's finally over with. For the most part, Twin Galaxies has made their decision. His scores have been removed, not just his Donkey Kong scores, but his Pac-Man, his Donkey Kong Jr., Centipede, and Burger Time scores have all been removed from the database, and they have banned him, so with the stipulation that he can never compete in Twin Galaxies again. So, although this is a very negative thing, there have been a couple bright spots, and I'd like to focus on one. Is a man by the name of Rick Fothergill who lives in Canada. He was the second Pac-Man, perfect Pac-Man score player. You don't know him because he was the second one. But since the Billy Mitchell score has been removed, now Rick Fothergill has been designated as the first perfect Pac-Man score. And I think it's kind of cool because Billy Mitchell sort of, basically broke a deal. He broke a deal with Rick Fothergill and a couple of other people who were good at Pac-Man at the time. He basically said, hey, they all said, we will not play Pac-Man for the score until, I think there was this fun spot tourney that was about to happen. And they all agreed, boom, we won't play until then. Billy Mitchell, though, decided on his own accord to break that deal. He went 2 or 3 weeks early and decided to start playing Pac-Man, and he got a perfect score. And so, basically, he went back, basically broke a deal between the four. And so, in a way, Rick Fothergill kind of got screwed from that because he was the second guy. And had he been able to know that this whole deal was fraudulent, he probably would have played when he needed to. And so, he might very well have been the very first Pac-Man player. But because of the whole thing, Billy Mitchell doing what he did, he became the first one. And so, in a sense, I'm glad that Rick Fothergill finally is going to get his moment in the sun as the very first Pac-Man, perfect Pac-Man player. And so, yeah, if there's anyone from the media that's watching it, yeah, go ahead. That would be an interesting interview because it's been about 19 years since this all happened. And while Billy Mitchell has, soaked in the fame from the perfect Pac-Man, Rick Fothergill has kind of lived in obscurity like just an average person. Another person I think that sort of got a little bit vindicated from all this is Steve Wiebe. Let's be honest, the score that was submitted during the King of Kong movie now has proven not to come from arcade. And so, and it looks like it's from MAME for all the characteristics are pointing to that. And so, in a way, it shows that Billy Mitchell not only submitted a taped score, he submitted a score that may very well have been MAME. And it's a score that was disqualified by Twin Galaxy. So, in a way, after all these years, Steve Wiebe finally gets his gets his revenge on this. Basically, the score that he achieved at FunSpot was a legit score and should have counted as the record. And he was basically robbed of the record because of a videotape that was not legitimate. So those are the two main people who have definitely benefited from all of this. And I'm glad to see it, that they've finally will, in different ways, benefit from this. And lastly, I guess, the interest in classic gaming has benefited. In a weird way, even though this has been super negative, people now are a little bit more interested in, competitive classic gaming, which is a very niche hobby. It's like the most niche hobby on the planet. It's, modern gaming is super popular, and speedrunning of classic games is popular, but when it comes to high score classic gaming, No, it doesn't get a lot of press. And so, in a way, even the classic gaming hobby has benefited, even though it has been on a negative story. As they say, I guess no negative news is, no news is bad news, in a sense. So I like to think that. All right, that's it. And I'll talk to you guys later. You guys have a nice day. Bye.